Yes guys, welcome guys to All Kak TV. You are watching Matafari on Data Point. Guys, this morning I just want to talk about the matrix of Ndindi Nyoro, or Ndindi Nyoro matrix. Ndindi Nyoro matrix. Now, for us to understand who is Ndindi Nyoro and his matrix, or what is his political gimmicks, then first of all, I want to take you back to history. 2021 moving to 2022 and late 2022, when there was a contest of picking a running mate for Ruto. When there was a contest of picking a running mate for Ruto, three names featured mostly online, and one name was Rigathi Gachagua, the second name was Ndindi Nyoro, and the third name was Honorable Kindiki, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Now, among those three names, the name that saw the most support was Honorable Kithure Kindiki, perceived as having a PA for Ruto and also having a professor of law for a very long time, and also having fought for Ruto ICC case and won, or even if not won, but at least we can say he succeeded. He was much far higher on ranking than Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who by that time was serving his term as a member of parliament for Kiharu constituency. Now, the ranking was that Kithure was the most preferable candidate to be the running mate, followed by Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, and Rigathi was the last, or the least of all members to be proposed to be Ruto's running mate in 2022. Ruto bulldozed all his members of parliament, and at 11th hour, Ruto took down the card for Kithure Kindiki and picked Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate, leaving out Ndindi Nyoro. And Ndindi Nyoro was promised that he was going to be groomed by Ruto for future presidency. And even one time in the media, Ruto spoke loudly that he is grooming most of the young politicians, and he mentioned Ndindi Nyoro by name, that among them I am grooming Honorable of Kiharu, Ndindi Nyoro. So in political matrix, it is perceived that in Ruto, Honorable Ruto was grooming Ndindi Nyoro for future task. Honorable Ruto was grooming Ndindi Nyoro for the future task. Now, early presidency of Honorable Ruto, in the first 6 months of Honorable Ruto, we saw you saw a young fleet of young leaders creating a movement called Kenya Moja movement, moving around Kenya, congregating around Ndindi Nyoro, singing Ndindi Nyoro for future. By that time, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua was the sitting deputy president, and it did not move well with him. It really disturbed his mind. And I remember one time in the meeting, he told Oscar Sudi and others to tone down, and the idea of moving from each county, moving around the country in the name of communal empowerment, and moving with the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, it did not go well. So the first person that the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua fought when he was a deputy president, he fought Ndindi Nyoro, because Rigathi saw Ndindi Nyoro as a person having ambition to take over the mountain. So Rigathi did not take well with Ndindi Nyoro, because Ndindi Nyoro was planning to be the future leader for the mountain. So it brought a lot of issues. And when things came later, and the impeachment brought about in the parliament, because of the idea that Ndindi Nyoro was coercing people around him to unseat the Rigathi Gachagua of the mountain, it made Ndindi Nyoro even not to vote for the impeachment. Ndindi Nyoro abstained from the impeachment because it could not have gone well with the Rigathi Gachagua. You see? And even after that, even after the impeachment, Ndindi Nyoro remained perceived as a neutral person in matters regarding Gachagua. When it came to the matters finance bill 2024, Ndindi Nyoro still absconded. He did not vote for the finance bill. Ndindi Nyoro created a narrative of fence sitting, that he was on the fence all along. When important matters happen in the parliament, two people were seen as a fence sitters. One is Babu Owino, and the other one is Honorable Ndindi Nyoro. These are the people who don't vote yes or no. And the rules of the parliament dictates that when you abstain or abscond the parliament, then you have voted yes. The person who did not vote inside the parliament and the person who voted yes always are treated on the same line, because the two of them helped to defeat the bill. When you vote yes, you defeat the bill. If you abstain, you defeat the bill. Therefore, the idea of Ndindi Nyoro absconding and the Honorable Owino absconding, those two members of parliament were doing fence sitting, and by so doing, they were voting yes. And this one did not go well with the most people. So, because of that, Ndindi Nyoro has been perceived as a mole or as a right-hand man for Ruto. So when Ndindi Nyoro comes out and pronounces his party, people now begin questioning, how does Ndindi Nyoro come up with a party when the rest of people could not be able to register a party like this one, Linda Mwananchi? But the news has it that the party actually was not registered. This is a long-time party of 1960s. So he only took over the leadership from a different person. Now, what are the metrics? The matrix of Ndindi Nyoro is that Ndindi Nyoro is strategically placing himself as a future alternative to Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua is coercing the mountain into one block, and he wants to use the block to bargain to whoever high bidder that he will get. If Rigathi will not stand for presidency because of impeachment, suppose, because I don't believe so, but suppose Rigathi will not stand for presidency because of impeachment, then Ndindi Nyoro is stationing himself there, telling the people of the mountain that if you want a future president and Rigathi, who is your king, is not and will not be on the ballot, here I am. I am offering myself to you that I'm an alternative to the Rigathis. 2. People who are going to move out of UDA, and the people who persecuted Rigathi Gachagua, and the people who are not in good books with Rigathi Gachagua, but because the ground is DCP, or the ground is the grasshoppers, then these people will not have a soft landing. Therefore, Ndindi Nyoro was providing a vehicle for them so that they can use the vehicle to say that we are still fighting against Kasongo, but we are with Ndindi Nyoro, and we are not with Rigathi Gachagua. So Ndindi Nyoro was trying to give them an alternative party. That is the second thing that comes out. And the third thing that comes out is that Ndindi Nyoro being used by the Olukak. When I talk about the Olukak here, I'm meaning Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So Ndindi Nyoro is going to be used to bisect or to divide the Mulima Western Wing, because Mulima Eastern Wing is divided by Honorable Kindiki, and the Mulima Western Wing is with the one man, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Therefore, Ndindi Nyoro coming out as an offshoot, his idea is to split the Mulima into two so that the west wing of the Mulima is divided twice. By dividing the west wing of the Mulima twice, you are reducing the numbers and you are reducing the power of the Rigathis, and you are creating a faction of the Mulima, and this makes the bargaining power of Mulima go low. So that is the other reason why Ndindi Nyoro is coming out. So the matrix is Ndindi Nyoro is very simple. Number one, give an alternative to the united to the Mulima people against Rigathi and against Ruto. 2, create a soft landing political party where the Kikuyus who are opposed to Rigathi can easily use their vehicle to vie for their seats. And 3, give an alternative to Mlima people that in the future, if Rigathi is not going to be on ballot, then me or I, Ndindi Nyoro, will be on ballot, and I can assure the presidency. Lastly, Ndindi Nyoro wants to station himself as a good high-ranking person for deputy presidency. He wants to be considered for the post of deputy presidency. Therefore, Ndindi Nyoro is stationing himself so that any other serious person, candidate who wants president in Kenya 2027, can pick Ndindi Nyoro as his deputy president. And that person specifically is one man, Honorable Matiang'i. So Matiang'i will be picking Ndindi Nyoro as the deputy president. And by doing so, number one, you are breaking the mountain western wing. And number two, you are building Rigathi's profile from a member of parliament into a deputy president. And number three, you are reducing the powers and the claws of Rigathi Gachagua. And finally, number four, you are giving an alternative to the United Opposition who are saying Ruto must go, but they are not giving out the alternatives. If Ruto goes, what will be happening? For example, they highlight the problems that Ruto is doing, but they don't give the solutions. But we see Ndindi Nyoro coming up, highlighting a problem like in the share and in the hospital, and also giving a solution. So Ndindi Nyoro comes out as a person who understands Kenya very well, who knows the problems caused by Ruto, and who has solutions to those problems. But the solutions are only found within him and within his party. Guys, you have been watching Matafari on a data point. This is the Oligarch TV show. Welcome, guys. Share, like, and subscribe for future videos.